Alright, everything's set up. I think it's time to start, well, reading stories about neckbeards. I mean, I already covered a video on them and how they're like, so let's see how they interact with other people outside of tweeting out, instead of just tweeting stuff online. Let's see how they talk to others in real life. Again, if let me know if you like this stuff, and also, the whole running out of content, give me ideas for like games under $20 or so. Just would like to know that. If there's any good games under that price, because just let me know. Anyways, let's cut to the story. How dare you speak Spanish? Hi there, mobile poster, so sorry for the layout. So this story happened to me about 2 years ago. A little fact about me was I was born in Mexico but raised in and live in Canada. And I do not look like a Latino, whatever that means. Now the thing about these stories is that actually, if you ask me, like most of these stories are fake, if you ask me. So, I'm doubting it, but there is a possibility that this actually happened. But don't take my word for the stuff actually happening. If you find out that one of the stories is fake, don't blame me, is what I'm trying to say, okay? One day I was at the bus stop waiting to go home from my ex's house. At the bus stop there is this man. He's kinda tall, very round, and had a beard that looked like a bunch of bees. It was pretty late, and I was an hour away from my home, so I called my mom to let her know that I'm on my way and that everything is fine. But I say all this in Spanish. Once I hang up the phone, he gets close and talks to me. Excuse me, but was that Spanish? Oh yeah. How did you learn it? My parents taught me. Why would they do that? It's our native language. I'm not from here. Yes, you are. You're white. At this point, I move away from him as getting uncomfortable as he moves closer. Me, I may look white, but from Mexico. Then you speak Then you should speak Mexican, not Spanish. Spanish is from Spain. They speak a language that isn't yours. Me dumbfounded. Well, Spaniards went to Mexico and taught the natives Spanish, and now everyone there speaks Spanish. Well, whatever. You shouldn't speak Spanish if you live here anyways. Me. I can speak whatever language I want to, ever I want. Now stay away from me. This this story is actually starting to sound believable because there are people out there that sound like this. I don't think it belongs on Tales of Neckbeard, but this is an interesting story nonetheless. I move away again. Neckbeard crosses his arms and pouts like a child. Every once in a while, I could hear him calling me a stupid immigrant and racist. I'm not gonna read that under his breath. After about 5 minutes of this, I put on one earbud and ignore him. The bus came, we both got on. I sit in the middle area and he tries to sit beside me, but I put my bag beside me and I give him a cold stare. So he tries to sit behind me, and that's when I smelled him. Just imagine a mix of old cheese, beer, and pee. Yeah, gross. So I get up and move to the front. He get up to follow me, but then I talk to the driver of the bus. Excuse me, sir. The driver, yes. The man has been bothering me since the bus stop, and I just want him to leave me alone. We stop at another bus stop, and he looks at Neckbeard. Hey, buddy, you sit back there and leave the girl alone. I'm kicking you out again. Me, thank you so much. The Neckbeard sits down in the back and pouts again. I sit close to driver, then I get off to take my train, and thankfully he didn't get off. And that's it. It's not the most extreme story, but it stuck with me. Thanks for reading. This is just somebody ignorant of history and stuff, really. And this is coming from somebody who knows barely anything about history. This man knows barely anything about history. And you barely know anything about something when somebody who barely knows anything about that subject says you barely know anything. That was a mouthful. So, story, real? Probably. Does it belong here? Well, it doesn't really feel like it outside of an obese man said it, but you know what? This one's believable, actually. I should have not doubted it. I would probably doubt the rest of them. Neckbeard really, really wants me to kill myself. This better. Oh no, this is one of those long ones. I typically don't like to read the long ones. I'm just gonna cut through to the shorter ones. Okay, Okay, this one's a short one. In 7th grade, there was a boy named Elliot. He was the opposite of what a common neckbeard is. He was skinny and did not smell because he used tons of deodorant. He was the only one at the class that hasn't kissed anyone, but he was obsessed with a girl named Lucia. Is that how you pronounce it? I think so. Lucia was the most popular girl in our class. Pretty and sweet, and that attracted the attention of Elliot. Once during recess, Elliot was with some people in the classroom. Here, every grade has only one classroom. That must have been like a small ass school, but that's not the point. Me included, and I think he didn't notice we were looking because he went to the chair that was Lucia's and said, I quote, I bet she smells so good down. Nobody smells good down there. And he licked the chair. He licked the chair, and I'm 100% sure he had a boner. And man, the guy was weird. Of course, we told Lucia, who was not happy to know that. Also, let me know. Also, let me tell you, I know this guy to this day, and where I live, he can't just wear fedora and trench coat because it's so hot, and he doesn't have enough testosterone to grow a beard. This dude is a complete "let me help my lady do everything" type of neckbeard. It's sad. It's a short story, but it's interesting to know that people get turned on by licking chairs. Because, before Lucia sat there, it could have been sat on by a guy. He could have been licking a guy's ass residue as well. Just thought I'd point that out. So there's that. This is also one of the more believable ones because it's not too extreme. I like it. I like this one. Oh fuck! I didn't click properly. The Ballad of Anglebeard Part 2. This is gonna be a last. This one's a long one, isn't it? Yep. Like I said, I'm not covering long ones. I'm just covering the ones as short as I can. You know what? This one's good enough. Let's just go over it. This is a train wreck already. And I'm new to Reddit, so sorry if this isn't too interesting, but I have my own tale to share. And unlike a lot of the stories I've heard play out on Reddit videos, this one does not start off with the smell of stale Doritos and body odor. Nope, unfortunately starts with friendship that I actually held pretty dear until semi-recently. Let's call my former friend Jay. Replace the J with a G if you know what I mean. Though Jay is definitely a neckbeard, proudly sporting a beard since his sophomore year, and still to this day, he always took care of himself hygiene-wise. The love of literature, comics, manga, video games, and his milady attitude are more his speed. If you want to know what he dressed, think steampunk vibes. I guess it's like the steampunker from Terraria. I don't know. We attended high school together, and though he was a grade above me, we got acquainted over our mutual lunch period one day. I was having trouble retrieving a snack from the vending machine. I'm in a wheelchair, and he offered to help. I noticed a piece of jewelry he was wearing, a certain symbol I recognized. And it struck up a conversation from there. My first impression of Jay was that he was a genuine, funny person who could always make me crack a smile. Being someone with a physical disability was often outcast. It felt nice to be accepted both by him and later his small group of friends. Well, he actually has friends. We were not popular or cool, but it was okay. I had friends. I still look back on those days with a lot of fondness. It was for that 1 hour a day. It felt that I was able to really be myself. Nerd out about comics, movies, poetry, history, anything that was on the table, and that kind of acceptance was sorely needed. Jay would often call me milady, but he also called teachers good sir, etc. too, so it never felt too out of place. From my freshman to senior year, everything was normal. I even missed Jay when he ended up graduating before me. School felt empty without him, but luckily we still got together after school. High school was a weird time for me, mostly because of my disability, mostly because of my time spent grappling with my sexuality. In mid freshman year, I came as bi to our group and spent a good year or two trying to fit in by getting a girlfriend. I still strongly prefer cis woman and or MTF love lies or boyfriend. I'm not really sure what those means. Those mean I'm just a child. take it easy on me. And at one point, my attention turned to Jay. It made sense to me, even now. Conversation has always been easy between us, and I thought there were genuine sparks between us, going both ways. I don't know if I misread anything, considering everything that's happened in later years, but initially he turned me down. The cherry on top was that I had stupidly asked him out in front of a lot of our friends, and he told me in front of everyone that he saw me as a little sister. It was so embarrassing. Don't blame you. The rejection hurt, but I accepted it, and years later I was in a relationship with a lovely girl. By that point, I had to let go any romantic feelings I may or may not had for Jay. Fast forward to my birthday, I was in college at this point, and while pursuing my degree, I was planning to move campuses while I perused an internship out of state. So I invited all my old friends from the neighborhood, and this included Jay, but he had work and couldn't make it. Even still, to make him feel like a part of it, I snapped pictures of me and my friends, a few goofy selfies, and sent them along. Later that night, when he was off work, he replied, "Your tits look great in that dress." Very weird comment. That's all I'm gonna say. It wasn't even a flirtatious compliment, dressed up with his usual run Renaissance fair gentleman flattery. Just to carve out my tits and a plain smile emoji. At least it was an eggplant emoji. I felt weird, not even just because it was suggestive, but more because, though we haven't discussed it since the party years ago, I had still been under the impression that Jay saw me as a little sister. I told him my girlfriend probably wouldn't appreciate that, but otherwise didn't comment. I really wasn't sure how else to respond. I'm not usually the confrontational type. Later at night, though, he started sending me a lot of asterisk texts. After I told him I was sore. First, they're harmless one like hugs, but then they turn into rubs your neck, kisses, etc. Now, I'm not shaming the whole sexting asterisk thing. I have had plenty of long distance relationships. Jay knew this as well. Maybe part of why he thought that it was an okay thing to do. Again, though, I told him to stop and reminded him that I had a girlfriend. In his next reply, he told me I was reading too much into things, that he was just being friendly. Didn't sit around with me. If my friends start fucking kissing my neck, I would slap them in the face and run the other direction. Because they're my friend, and I don't like being touched there. I just don't like being touched anywhere on the shoulder above. I don't know why, it just do be like that. A few days later, after total silence, Jay sent me a pee-pee pic. Illegal. Not gonna go into any more detail. No, hi, hello, how are you? Nope. A flat out pee-pee pic. Underneath that, he sent super long flurry of texts about how I'm his goddess and he would worship me, and I've changed over the years, and about how much he wants to eat me out. This time I never answered him. I blocked him. I also told my mom if he came around looking for me to say that. I was out with my dad. Never told her why though. Wonder why she didn't ask why. Later that year, when I moved out of state, I got a text from a new number calling me goddess. I also blocked that one too. It's been a few years from now, and to this day, I mostly feel weird about the way everything played out. I'm not sure if Jay will try to reach out again, but I definitely won't be answering if he does. Sorry if this wasn't dramatic or came out jumbled in any way. That was a good place to get my feelings out, though, and show that sometimes neckbeards don't always set off alarm bells from the start. In fact, I'm still willing to bet there are good ones out there. Not Jay, though. His fucking asshole. That was an interesting story. That one's definitely one of the more legit ones. On the topic of reading stories, I actually have a funny little story of my own. One of my friends at school, Thomas, he actually watches my videos, so hi if you're there. Yeah, he said that the kids in his class couldn't well like like the kids in his English class were god awful at reading, and he said he wasn't even kidding when he said this, but apparently they will struggle to read because, and he wasn't even kidding when he said that. Keep in mind that this isn't like a special needs class or anything. These are like perfectly normal kids with nothing impairing them, and they are struggling to fucking read because on a page. And he said he wasn't joking when he said that. And I've actually seen kids like that 2 years ago. I just don't know how, but that's a thing. Struggling to read because is a thing. It's just a funny story I thought I'd share. Anyways, now back onto it. This sounds like a fake one. who acts like when he doesn't get what he wants. 23-year-old man gets his hands and knees. This one also sounds fake. Okay, let's see this one. Don't be Dan, aka me. Hello, I'm Dan. I'm gonna come out and say I feel as though I was a neckbeard. Oh, back in middle school, I had full mane under the neck, a literal neckbeard. But how I treat others was the main thing I had done wrong. Let me explain. I didn't have a whole lot of friends when growing up. I was introverted and a bit of an odd duck. In my old hometown, I was totally loner, and not everyone wanted much to do with me. The fact that I left theater in my senior year didn't help because I had most of my friends there. Leaving my old hometown made me even more lonely, since I was in a new environment. Didn't help that my house and college were in two different towns, and I would go home almost every weekend. When I didn't have friends, I was I was happy, but at times I felt like I took them for granted. Oh, well, when I did have correction, I was negative and whined a lot. I acted like the world was against me. I even had a neckbeard attitude due to not knowing a whole lot of women. The worst is how I treat my friend Sam. Not real name, obviously. Sam and I were close friends, almost like a brother and sister. The fact that I had a crush on her damaged the relationship. And while I got over the crush, I tried to be too close to her and ended up rubbing her the wrong way. I was awkward, I was insensitive, I was clingy at times, passive aggressive. We eventually fell out in January 2017 due to how many times I've hurt her because I didn't know how to handle the friendship. I was a shit friend to Sam, and I do hope she forgives me. Probably won't, let's be honest, because forgiving is quite a difficult thing to do, especially if you ask me. Someone wrongs me, I'm gonna hold that against them forever. That's just the type of person I am. Probably need to fix that, but that's fixing itself is a difficult thing to do. But if she doesn't, I can't blame her. I was an ass to her, and Sam, if you're reading this, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for making you feel uncomfortable. I'm sorry I wasn't a good friend to you. I'm sorry I didn't respect our friendship. I hope you're well. Right now, I'm a college graduate with my little friends. Everyone I knew in college moved on, and to be frank, can't blame them. Didn't hold anything against them for not wanting to know me. The real reason not everyone wants to know me is because of how I was. Like Celestial heard. If you can read this, I offer you some advice. If anyone, who the hell is it? If you can read this, I have to offer you some advice. If anyone reaches college age, learn to be more understanding. Learn to be a better friend. Learn to be more compassionate. Don't act like the world is against you like I did. Don't be me. Don't be Dan. P.S. I can tell you more regrets on Neckbeard Dan if you guys wish. So this is just a dude admitting to his past. That was an interesting one. Again, one of the more believable ones. Man, I'm on a roll with stories that are actually believable today. I'm not gonna electric jokes. I'm not gonna read this one. Yeah, I'm not gonna read that one. Yeah, pretty much. Let's see this one. Okay, let's do this. I was to start off saying that I have known a few neckbeards in my time, and I've been good friends with them, and have never had a bad experience. That being said, this story stands out of my mind. I went to a smart high school. It was more oriented towards academics and offered IB International Baccalaureate program, which teaches you the international standard level of things. More work for the same amount of information. That's just most schools anyways. This meant that my school attracted lots of highly intelligent people, and with them the weebs, the socially awkward people, and yes, the neckbeards. Yes, because neckbeards associate themselves as smart. That's just it though. However, I have named this NB this neckbeard Invisibeard because nobody ever actually saw him, so I couldn't give you a description of what he looked like. How do I know he was a neckbeard? The smell? Well, stench. I know kids in my class that actually struggle to read stench. And I'm not joking when I say that. I go to a really dumb high school. And they claim to be one of the best. And they have their kids struggle to fucking read stench. And I and I don't know why I find that funny. Oh, we have really smart kids. And then the kid's like, What does stench mean? That's an actual true story. The word stench reminds me of that. This all started around second semester when we had a new classes and we were getting adjusted to our new schedules. My last period class was on the second or third floor. I can't remember which. God, you guys have floors? That's fucking sick. I wish I could get a nice view out of my building. Of like when I'm in the middle of class. I wish I could get a half decent and incredibly good view. Fifth period started, we walked into the room. Entire class was hit with this thing. It was like moldy cheese had humped a gym sock in the dumpster. It was thick and muggy and hung in the classroom, and the teacher left the door open, hoping it would help. It didn't. Damn, the teacher just going straight on ham on this kid. That's a teacher you give respect to. One of the few teachers that I probably would give respect to. This happened every day for weeks until a teacher announced to us that she talked to the teacher who used the classroom before us, and the teacher said she would talk to students. Things got better for a few days, but then they went right back to normal. It should be known that my school doesn't have windows that are open either, so we're stuck with it. That's the story of Invisibilia. Never seen, but always smelled. Sorry if this isn't a normal neck-based story. Let me know if it does for you. One of the more believable ones, except for the stench and the teacher's reaction. But if that teacher exists, you have a lot of guts for just outright for just doing this. A lot of respect. Joking on the kid's death is never fine, but I don't think I'm gonna read this. It sounds fake. Let's see. Okay, let's just read this one. I've Okay, yeah, this one seems to be fakish, but there's enough dialogue for it to be somewhat believable. It's a long one, so get comfortable. So I work at a library, and as you can imagine, I've seen some weird dude. This encounter with the neckbeard in the comic book section got bad quite quickly. I was rearranging some comics I haven't been put together, and this guy taps me on the shoulder. I turn, and there he is. He was wearing a Captain America shirt and and he either had his hair slicked back or way too much product, or or he hadn't showered in weeks. This smell would indicate the latter. He is also standing uncomfortably close, and I couldn't step back to the bookshelf being behind me. Knock over the bookshelf, god damn it, you dumbass! I'm just joking, okay, I'm not that stupid. Him, hello ma'am. Do you happen to have Batman the Killing Joke? I can't find it. He still doesn't step back. Oh god, this is gonna be a train wreck. Oh, sorry, I believe someone borrowed it earlier today. Would you like me to help you find something else? Oh, that's okay. I wouldn't want to bother a pretty lady like you. He then takes a notebook out of his pocket and scribbles something on it before tearing out the page and handing it to me. What's this? My number. In case you want to call me later tonight. Why are you giving me your number? He then shoves it to my hand and starts walking away. I had never thrown something away so fast in my life. Unfortunately, that wasn't the last I'd see of him. Oh no. I came back the next day and sat down at one of the tables at the cafe. Our library has a rather nice cafe, and I usually eat there before going in for work. That actually sounds quite nice. I actually live pretty close to the library. Let me know if you want me to borrow a book from there and read it. I am running out of content ideas, as you can tell. Not long after I had gotten my food, the neckbeard from before just approached me, looking rather flustered, pink in cheeks, as if he had just searched an entire library for me. My school library is called library, and they don't even have any books. Just thought I'd mention that. Yeah, they claim to have smart kids and be a good and stuff like that, and they don't have a library, and the library has no books, and the kids can't even read the word stench properly. Just thought I'd point that out in case I'm not gonna drop where my school is at. Come on, like y'all can stalk me or something in case this video does get viral, which it probably won't, but it doesn't hurt to prepare. Him, why didn't you call me? Excuse me? Why didn't you call me last night? Gave me my number. The fact that this dude remembered her face is even weirder. I see a stranger's face I probably wouldn't remember it. The fact that this dude bothered to go into remembering it. Now, I actually had a girlfriend at the time. I told him this. This was a response. You're lying. Lesbians don't look like that. Like you can even look gay. Do I look gay? Please don't tell me I look gay. Me, look, I'm not interested. Please just leave me alone. By this point, the rather muscular waiter who had moderately well comes over to see what's going on. Hey, what's going on here? I was just talking to this fine young woman. I gave the waiter help me out here. Waiter, look, if you don't leave my name alone, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. The neckbeard reluctantly trudges back to the door, the stairs. I don't see him again for a while, but next morning I wake up to flowers on my fucking doorstep with a knot on it and his number. I can only assume that this guy followed me home. I threw out the flowers, go about my day. Around 10 p.m. that night, he appears on my doorstep with an old suit with chocolate and more flowers. Him, you still haven't called me, dude. If you leave me alone, if you don't leave me alone, I will call the police. What? You haven't broken any laws. You can't do that. You literally stalked me and have been harassing me. I wouldn't have done that if you just gone out with me. The last time, I have a girlfriend. I take care of my phone. Fine, I'll leave you alone, but just know that you broke a good guy's heart. Oh well, a guy's heart. I can't fucking read. I think the stupidity of the kids at my school are beginning to rub off on me. Please help. Thankfully, he did leave me alone. I saw him in the library a few days after, but he avoided me at all costs and eventually just stopped coming. I hope he also stopped coming, if you know what I mean. Okay, that was stupid. TLD, our neckbeard tries to give me his number, and I don't call him, stalks and harasses me. And I know he fixed some grammar stuff. It sounds somewhat fake, but there are people out there that think like this. I think there's an entire documentary on people like this. I'm trying to remember it off the top of my head. Yeah, I've heard somewhere that yeah, there are people who think like this. I've actually seen it before on like social media and everything, and it's disappointing. Let's see if this. Oh, this is a. Maybe I shouldn't read storytime stuff because it's just walls and walls of text. About 2 months ago, my boyfriend asked if his buddy, I call him D, is about 6 foot, 300 pounds, and definitely has a beard on his neck. He went to a military structure school with could move in. Apparently, he had a fight with his aunt that owns his apartment. Was being evicted. I was hesitant at first, but he explained how D always has back and saved his butt a couple of times in school, so I agreed. But he could only stay a few months. We went to his apartment to help him move, and oh my god, that place was nasty. There's an actual wall of trash bags, and even more, in a little crawl space in the wall, he had two pet rats, and the cage was obviously not kept up on. It stank so bad. My boyfriend wouldn't let me use his bathroom, and I had to walk to the gas station down the street when I had to go. Apparently, it was that bad. Man, I kind of want to see the bathroom now. After we got him back to our apartment, we explained to him that he had to clean up after himself, and I'm not a maid. He grumbled about it, but agreed. My house is also a mess, but that's mainly because of my sister hoarding a bunch of stuff. My desk is a mess because of Pokemon cards, but I can clean that up soon enough. I should probably do that. Everything was fine until me and my boyfriend noticed he wasn't fucking showering. He only showered twice the first month he was here. He said he didn't want to ruin the natural oils in his skin and hair. Gross. My boyfriend threatened to hose him down with soap outside, like they did back at school. This has to be fake. I don't believe this story. There's no way that somebody would say this, right? They actually had to do that a couple of times back then. After that, he started showering a bit more, but then it happened. One of his rats died, and he didn't notice until he walked by his room and smelled something worse than usual. My boyfriend knew that smell instantly. The school was on a farm, and they butchered and raised animals. Had to be dead for a bit so that Dee didn't notice, so he's used to smelling horrible. He's so used to. Okay, recently when my boyfriend was at work, I cleaned the living room and Dee randomly came out and started talking about how if boyfriend wasn't around, we'd be dating and how treat a lady like me so much better, and my boyfriend treats me just fine. I straight up said no. I wouldn't be with you if boyfriend. I wouldn't be with you if boyfriend wasn't around. I'm not attracted to you. He huffed went back to his room and has been avoiding me since. He only comes out with boyfriend when BF is home and has been trying to instigate fights between us, but it's not working, making him more mad. Can't wait till he moves out. So they mentioned something about one of his rats dying. That actually reminds me of something that happened with my parents. It happened a few months ago, so something involving a bird instead of a rat. So let me know if you actually, you know, might as well just tell the story right now. In this, yeah, a while back actually had two birds. Well, they were my sisters mostly, and one of them fell ill. My sister Googled the symptoms, and it said that you should probably take them to a vet. I think if anybody's animal fell ill, no matter what it was, they'd take them to a vet out of concern. So my sister went to my dad and just said, "Hey, our bird is sick. Let's take them to a vet to make sure that's nothing severe, and to make sure the bird comes out alive." My dad said, "No, the bird will come out just fine," which is a bad move because it's a living thing we're talking about here. And then like a week or so later, the bird fucking died. And it turns out that whatever our bird had, like, according to Google, there was like well, I shouldn't be relying my information off of Google, but there could have been a chance of survival for that poor bird. And my dad just said, "No, let's not take it to the vet. Let's just let it die." And I still think about that. Is my dad really a good person when he cares more about money than a pet's life? Is he? Anyways, yeah, and I'm pretty sure we have free healthcare here, so I'm pretty sure like birds go to a vet for absolutely free, so we won't even be losing any money. So I don't really know what he was going with saying let's not do it. It was out of his laziness that something else had to suffer. R.I.P. Clover, rest in peace. Anyways, yeah, that's just my story with my dad that I figured I'd mention. Got a little bit off topic. Anyways, this video has been stretched to 32 minutes, so I'm gonna end it here. Bye.